on Monday
After
at the conclusion of this year.
As in tomorrow.
No.
Next
Following
week.
Then a week from tomorrow.
We come tomorrow.
So if you decide you're coming at 3:45 on Monday, forget it, because we're paying him on Monday and that's the end of that. So the laggards will not be accounted.
Let's hope he doesn't close his doors on Tuesday.
If he only finds out we only 7 people, he's not gonna kick us out.
You have 14 already.
No, you got 2 more.
Yeah, but we.
You'll still get, you'll see, you're gonna get a few more.
Got 16 now.
It came out in this past Thursday's bullet. Okay, Torah or Daf Yomi will hold a siyum from Masechet Nedarim on Tuesday, January 24th at 3 p.m. at Orchid Gardens. Reservations are $30 per person in advance. Please contact Heshi Plotkin, 570-604-0371 regarding payment. Open to both men and women. Okay.
Okay.
Mhm. Okay, we are all set, yeah. Okay. Zev, okay, all right. Ruben? All right, I'm just looking to make sure everybody was able to, okay? The, Terry, the 830 million is upstairs.
You're doing the doc
Again?
again?
Again, not today.
Today, yeah, I'm doing the DAF today.
Okay.
No, he doesn't.
That's Yomi.
Okay, learning sponsors, the Friends of Marcy Kurtz in memory of her great niece, Leah Bracha. Isaac and Evelyn Blacho in memory of his sister, Chaya Rachel Bas Iser. Friends of Leonie Meisem and Leah Saber Bas Chanuk Zunda. 2 months of learning by the Friends of Milton Meller in honor of his second bar mitzvah. Month of learning by B. Pizer in memory of her sister, Rivka Bas Avram Michal Halevi. Mindel and David Cheslow in memory of her father, Nehemiah ben Mordechai Yonah Halevi. Haran and Mel Haller in memory of her mother, Malka Rachel Bas Yehuda Leib. Yossi Goldstein in memory of his father, Moshe Tzvi ben Dov. Isaac and Eda Novik in memory of his mother, Miriam Gittel Bas Chanoch Henach. Week of Learning by Clara and Jonas Wazer in memory of her father, Moshe ben Yisrael HaKohen. Mira and Herschel Sennett in memory of her mother, Shosha Bat Abram Alevi, and his mother, Reitza Bat Yitzchak Yaakov. Anita and Morris Kornblit, Leora and Lee Weinberg, in memory of their dear friend and teacher, Rabbi Dr. Ron Bronner, Rav Yerachmiel ben Shmuel Yosef. Oscar and Shelley Moll, in memory of his father, Shlomo ben Yitzchak, and his mother, Rachel Bas Naftali. Judith and Michael Poretsky, in memory of her father, Yaakov Yitzchak ben Hirsch Feivel. We have a day of learning. Today is the 14th by Ruth and Gideon Lazinski, Miriam Schiffman, and Lillian Sieve in honor of Sam Coleman's special birthday. Betty and Howard Zavin, in memory of her mother, Pinchas ben Meir. Alan and Helen Baker, in memory of his father, Chaim Mordechai ben Tzvi Hirsch. Actually, that was, 14th was actually yesterday. Okay. Ziggy and Lela Bessler in memory of his father, Dov Bereshman Shalom Fivish. Today, the 15th, right?
All day.
Yeah, Fred and Susan Koss in memory of his father, David ben Yaakov. May Shema Shema's having Aliyah, Crank Rafia, Velti Yeshira Shematliya, and Lachol B'nai Israel, a good Gaben Shtiach.
We're here all week with you today. I don't know.
Right now, we're here all week. Okay, all right,
Is he gonna put the coffee in here?
we'll ask him to.
But
Okay.
somebody has to ask him.
Yeah. Okay. Used to be that we would have a table in the back there. Sometimes we would actually have it just go into the kitchen and have it set up. Either way, I'm sure Jews can handle it, right? Okay. All right, so today we're supposed to be on Pei Bet Amud Aleph, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna start really in the bottom where we left off yesterday on Pei Aleph Amud Beis. It's next to the last line. Okay? It's Pei.
You should really go back.
I'll give a little. All right, so I want to come back, okay, to this issue, okay, of reminding everybody that the argument was that Rabbi Yossi did not believe that not washing and not adorning was self-affliction. Okay, that he felt basically that the not washing clothes, because it led to a variety of situations, or not washing one's hair, not washing one's clothes, okay, things like that, was more self-affliction because it could lead to serious illness. So not simply bodily problems, but mental and emotional problems as well. So we have this distinction basically in the following. Rabbi Yossi has made a distinction that when the husband can revoke vows, okay, is it basically based on inui, self-infliction, or is it based on beino leveina, between himself, the relationship between the husband and the wife? Okay, and so therefore there are certain things. So he differs from the Rabbanan, because Rabbanan will say in both of those cases, the husband can revoke the vows, primarily on the fact that they hold that both of those are applicable. The difference, however, is that when the husband revokes the vows, okay, regarding inui, so, right? If I remember correctly, and tell me if I'm wrong, that applies to both the husband and to others. But but when regards to, well, we'll get to that in a second. Okay, to himself and others. When it's regards to, Rabbi Yossi says, beino leveina, that's only for himself. Okay, now what is so significant? How is that also different from the rabbis? The rabbis say it's for both. The Rabbi Yossi is saying when it's for self-inui, not only is it for himself and others, but it is ongoing. It continues. In other words, it could be permanent. Whereas it's only for himself in that of the relationship, it means were he to divorce her, okay, or die for that matter, but let's take divorce as a better example I like, okay? It means therefore that revocation ends, and therefore at that point, the neder goes back into effect, and it would apply to some other individual. For example, if she took a vow, korban shenehaneh tashmish. I'll give that rough example. Okay, remind the gentleman that's coming in now that they're upstairs. Okay, I think if he's looking for the 8:30 minyan. Okay, all right, so what happens? So therefore the second husband, okay, it's got a problem. Okay.
Well, they can't be a second.
Well, he has a problem. That's why he can't be a second husband. Okay, that's the point. So
He has a real problem also.
anyway, so that is the issue. Okay, so we see this example. Okay, now before we jump on to the text, a question. We said that according to Rabbanan, okay, the husband can revoke both on those two causes. We said according to Rabbi Eliezer, there's a distinction between the causes. One is for only himself, one is for himself and others, one is for temporary, one is for long term. Is there somebody that's going to say that neither of those two examples. Neither of those causes are valid, and therefore that's a real issue. Okay? Let's keep that in mind. So as I said, we're going to jump back now. We're going to start again on Pei Aleph Amud Beis, about the next to the last or the third to the last, second to last line. Ba'imine Rabba me Rav Nachman. Okay, is where we're going to start. Okay, Tashmish Shemitah, the Rabbanan. Okay, regarding this issue of taking the vow that I will not benefit from the relations. Okay, now notice, remember, we've said all along, a person can make a vow about themselves, but they cannot make a vow against somebody else. Okay, they can make a shvuah. Okay, that's different. Okay, so he's asked the question regarding Tashmish Hamitah with the rabbis. Inui nefeshu o devarim shebeino lebeina. Okay, given their view, okay, these two causes, okay, this example of a neder, what does it fall into? Okay, Amar le, he said to him, Tenituha, we learned this. What about the example? Unitula ani minha Yehudim, a woman who says, I am separated from all Jews, implying all Jewish men, she is refraining from relations. Okay, what should he do? Okay, as we now go to today's daf, Pei Bet, Amud Aleph. Yefer chelko shamshto. He should revoke his part as the husband and therefore have relations. Now that means we said that were he to die or were he to divorce her, at that point, okay, the neder goes back into effect. Okay, nitula min hayudim. Okay, utehi nitula min hayudim, and therefore at that point she is refraining from any all Jewish men.
Which is a riot, it's paying.
Okay, which would seem to imply that it's beino uvleveina. Okay, remember when there's an implicit, the Gemara doesn't spell it out for us, so it's an implicit implication. Gemara can challenge those as well. Okay, ve'iyama, ve'iyamrinan really, neder inui nefesh have. But were we to say that this was that this vow of tashmish, okay, of abstinence, sustenance, okay, abstinence is in place, and it was considered a self-affliction, amai tehei nitula min hayudim. Why then would our text teach us, and this is a forthcoming Mishnah, by the way, why would then did our text tell us that she is refrained from all Jewish men? Shma mina, therefore we must learn from this, dvarim shebeino leveina havyan, that we have to decide that this neder regarding tashmish is a beino leveina variety of neder. Okay, the Rabbanan tabayla, but the rabbis then they could still question him. Mishum denetula ani min hayehudi, that when it's a situation that she says this vow of I'm separated from all Jewish men, Rabbi Yossi Katanila, that this must be then teaching it according to the view of Rabbi Yossi, who we said makes this distinction between inui nefesh and dvarim shebeino leveina. Okay, Da'amar Rav Kahana, as said by Rav Kahana, Kule Pirkin Rabbi Yossi. Our entire chapter, he says, okay, is based on Rabbi Yossi, certainly from this point onward. Okay, because we said that this Mishnah that's going to teach us that she says Netula Yefer, all right, Netula min Yehudim, comes later in our parak. Okay, we didn't get to that Mishnah yet. Okay, so what happens? Mimai, if that's the case, what's the halacha then? What are we saying? Kevan de Katani Rabbi Yossi, since it was taught by Rabbi Yossi, Omer, who says, Ein elu nidre inui nefesh, that these are not, this example of not washing and not adorning are not true value examples of inui nefesh. Lama le tu lamitna. Why is it then that we further then teach Harei ze yefer divrei Rabbi Yossi, that he can revoke it according to the view of Rabbi Yossi? Shma mina, we have to learn from this, mikan ve'elech Rabbi Yossi, that the rest of our parak is based on Rabbi Yossi, and Rabbi Yossi must then consider tashmish, this kind of vow. All right, what kind? Beino leveina. That's the implication. Okay, so what happens? Gemara goes on, a new piece. Amar Shmuel mishmei de Levi. So Shmuel says in the name of Levi, Kol nedarim ba'al mefer leishto. Any vow or all vows a husband can revoke for his wife. Okay, chutz, with the exception, min a vow that says min ha'anati al ploni she'eno mofer, except with her saying, I will not get any benefit from so-and-so, that the husband cannot revoke. Okay, now, this may not have anything to do with tashmish. I want to, right, at all. It could be sick, what? Right, it could be he's the local plumber, or it could be he's a builder, or he could be the local store owner. Okay.
Store owner was covered.
Okay, well, but I'm just giving examples. All right. So what happens? Aval hana'at ploni alai. But if were she to say any benefit for me is forbidden from so and so, Mayfair, he is able to revoke it. Okay? He is able to revoke it. Okay. Why? Because we might say it might be possible that if she could still need the services of some of that individual.
It could have implications to him.
Okay, we're going to get to that. Okay. In other words, let's take the example. Let's take the example for the case of the storekeeper. Okay, even though it was touched on earlier. She might say, I will not benefit from anything you bring me. We saw that was the language from such and such a store. Okay. What if she goes to that store and buys it herself? Okay. And brings it home. That's acceptable. But were she to say, I won't buy anything more from Walmart, okay, or whatever, okay, then the implication is, even if she, in that situation, why would Rabbi Yossi say to revoke the vow? Because it's a tircha on him. It means he can't go to Walmart. He'll have to go to Best Buy, or he'll have to go to whatever more, pay more. Okay, whatever. Okay, so that's why Rabbi Yossi in that example might still say that it is beino leveina because it's a tircha and it applies to their relationship. Okay, so now we can go on. Okay, it's not, but we have a text that teaches Peirot Medina Zo'ala. What about if she said that the produce from this county, this state, this locale is forbidden for me? Yavila mi Medina acheret. There we said, okay, that can't be revoked because it can be brought to her from another location. Amar Rabbi Yossi, Amar Rav Yosef, says Rav Yosef, de ka'amra No, it's when she said in that case, shetavi, that you bring from me from that location. Tashma. So listen to the following. What about this Breita? Perot chenvani zo alai. Okay, that the produce of this particular storekeeper is forbidden from me. Ein yachol lahafer. There we would say in that case, he is not able to revoke. Why? Hachanami, the ka'amra. No, says our Gemara. Here too, it was when she said, shetavi ota, that you bring to me from that storekeeper. So were she to bring it on her own, that stuff, okay, or were she to use it, however, but that's different. Okay, now our Mishnah went back and said, what about if the husband had the credit there? Okay, and that was the only storekeeper that gave him the credit. All right? Haita parnasato elami menu. Hare zeyefer. If that was the case, we said he could then revoke, according to Rabbi Yossi, that vow. Why? Ve'iyamart de ka'amra shetaviota amayefer. But if you said it was a situation where you, whether she tells the husband, if you bring it to me, how can we say, even according to Rabbi Yossi, that he can still revoke it? Amayefer. Elami de seifa de lo maite baal have. Okay? But rather it was from the end of our Mishnah that it taught that it was not a question of the situation of the husband bringing it. Okay? Right? Namely, therefore, Resha de kamaite he. Therefore, our earlier statement might be a situation where it was she herself who brought the items to her. Ela Resha ein yachol lahafer. But rather at the beginning reference, he is not able to revoke. Okay, udekamaite he, and that's a situation where it's she herself would be bringing that produce home as well. Okay, so we now go to the new Amud on the top, Matnitin Rabbi Yossi, and therefore, since we see that this distinction clearly in that case between you bringing it or her bringing it, and the question of whether it would make tircha on the husband, it again tells us that that case has to be based on the approach of Rabbi Yossi, okay, where he makes the distinction again between inui nefesh and beino lebeina.
That's the exception.
Okay, so, well, the question is, does he accept it in circumstances? Okay, or does he reject it? Right? Yes. Question? No? Okay, let's go on. All right, it should be Da'amar Rabbi Rav Huna. I got a printing error in my Gemara. Yeah. Okay. Da'amar Rav Huna, who says Rav Huna the following. Kule Pirkin Rabbi Yossi. Our entire parak, entire chapter is based on the teaching of Rabbi Yossi. Umay ein yachol lahafim. What do we mean then when we say he is not able to revoke? Explains this is Rabbi Yossi Huna's view. Mishum inui nefesh. Okay, he can't revoke it using the cause or the rationale of inui nefesh. Aval mefer nidarim shebeino lebeina, but that he can revoke when it's based on vows, based on their relationship, which would seem to tell us, at least according to Rav Huna, that Rabbi Yossi does not accept inui nefesh whatsoever. Okay, but that's Rav Huna's view. We may see that that could be challenged. Amar Rav Yehuda, a new piece. Amar Shmuel, says Shmuel the following: Nadra mishteki karot. Let's assume that she makes a vow, okay, forbidding her utilization of two kinds of loaves. One ba'achat mit'aneh u'ba'achat ein mit'aneh. In one case, she deprives herself, which is the better quality loaf. And in the other case, she doesn't deprive herself because it's lesser quality loaf. Okay. Mitoch shehu mefer lemitane, says the Gemara, since the fact that he can revoke regarding the one, depriving the one of the better quality, mefer, okay, mefer l'she'eino mitane. The result is that therefore the one regarding the lesser quality is also revoked. Does this remind us of something Rabbi Akiva said, if I remember correctly? That if you nullify part of the vow, the entire vow is null and void? Okay, let's see. However, let's go on. All right. But Rav Asi Amar Rabbi Yochanan. But Rav Asi says in the name of Rabbi Yochanan, Mefer mitaneh, that when he revokes that she deprived herself, namely the better quality, ve'ein mefer l'she'ein mitaneh. But that does not mean that there's a revocation of the lesser quality, the one she didn't deprive herself of. Okay, so Rabbi Yochanan basically disagrees then with what was said before.
Does that mean she made separate measures?
No, she made a single vow. Were she to have made separate vows, what could he do? He could, right? He'd have to revoke them separately.
You can justify Shmuel
Yeah.
by reminding yourselves that there are circumstances where you say, I will disassociate myself from Harry, Sam, Pete, and Joe. And if you want to revoke from Sam, then Pete and Joe are also acceptable, but.
Okay. That goes back to that other Gemara, whether it's Siriatim or not. Okay. Okay. Ve'ika Amran. And there are those who want to explain it this way. Okay. Different Lashon. By Mene Rabbi Asi mi Rabbi Yochanan. That Rabbi Asi asked a question of Rabbi Yochanan. Nadra mishtei karot. The woman takes a vow regarding two loaves. Be'achat mitaneh. In one case, she deprives herself. From one, she deprives herself, which we said was the better quality. Ube'achat ein mitaneh. And in the other, from the other one, she does not deprive herself, from the lesser quality. Mahu briut. What is the result? Amarle, Rabbi Yochanan answers, Mefer mitaneh, ve'ein mefer she'ein mitaneh. He is able to revoke regarding the one she deprived herself, the better quality, but he is not able to revoke the one that she did not deprive herself, the lesser quality. Eitive. But I might challenge this, says the Gemara. What about the following? Okay? Ha'isha shenadra benazir. Let's say we have an example of a woman who takes a vow of Nazareth. V'haita shota yayin umitam alametim. And she goes ahead and she drinks wine, and she also becomes tme'ah regarding contact with the dead. Right? I'm going to go over a little bit. Hare zo sofeget et arba'im. Okay. What is her? What's the result? Malchus, right? And we don't mean that she's queen for a day either. Okay? I know, Malchus, Malka, just a pun. Okay, all right, so what happens, all right? Hefer la ba'ala, if the husband, right, revokes the vow, vehi lo yad'ah, and she doesn't know, shehefer la, v'haita shota yayin umitam alametim, and she went and drank wine and became tamei, eina sofeget et ha'arba'im. She does not then get the 40 lashes. Okay? All right. Okay. All right, and that's where we're going to stop today, this morning. All right,
Loaf is a half a loaf is better than none.
half of them. All right, okay. All right,
Rabbi Green,
yes, sir.
even if she knows that she made a vow and she does it intentionally, even though her husband revoked it?
No, she has to do it.
Let's